You have already incorporated one of the most commonly used transitions. This is the cut transition. This transition is a sudden change from one shot to the next shot in a sequence. Usually the scenes will have a logical connection to each other. For example, if you have two people that are having a conversation, your overall scene may have two cameras, one looking over the shoulder of person 1, looking at person 2, and the other over the shoulder of person 2, looking at person 1. The camera will be on the person talking, and then when the second person starts talking, the camera will cut to the other view that shows that person talking. It's logical, and it keeps the flow of the conversation between the two subjects easy to understand. The cut transition is the most widely used transition in film, video, and animation production because it's the most effective transition for the widest variety of situations. The other popular transition is called a fade or crossfade. The crossfade works by fading the first sequence out while the second sequence is fading in. It creates an overlapping transition. This is a much slower transition from one shot to the next shot and happens over a series of frames. This transition is used to indicate a change in the time in the film or the location of the viewer. As we look at our storyboard for the animation that we'll be creating, we can see that it would be best used between storyboards number 2 and number 3, where we're changing from an outside point of view to an interior point of view. We don't need to have a camera sequence showing somebody walking through the door and into the laboratory. Not only would that be a waste of time, but it would serve no real purpose, because the fade transition will indicate to the viewer that that is what has happened. Another good example is if you have a character sitting at a bench and it's morning, you can use the fade transition to a night scene with the character still sitting at the bench, indicating that they've been sitting there all day. This avoids having to render a 12-hour animation, which would obviously be very time-consuming.